Alright, this is my Unit 6 Muddiest Points by Terry Williamson for FED 503. My major things that I'm still struggling for is the qualitative and quantitative research methods. Their purpose and practical uses in the classroom are what I'm working towards clarification on. Quantitative research method, I'm figuring out a lot more about its uses. It provides numbers and relevant statistical measurable data that can be used to aid teachers and administrators. And what I've been able to figure out as far as its uses, you can use it through development of tests, which test scores can generate data that let you know if students are understanding and grasping a concept or if they need further instruction to be able to master it. The test data provides teachers with information which they can analyze the numbers to know how many of their students are struggling in order to have the knowledge to take the next steps they need to take, which that, like I said, has been one of my muddiest points, is figuring out how quantitative and qualitative both get used by teachers within the school system or in the classroom. And then, of course, the last thing that quantitative seems to lead to is the possibility for professional development for teachers and administration, so that instruction as a whole can be improved through time, through realizing what practices are not effective and what things need to be addressed in order to help students become better learners and receive the quality of education they need to be prepared for the working world. Now, my question still comes up with the qualitative research method. From my understanding, it uses surveys to analyze opinions, traits, and data that cannot be measured with numbers, which leads to the point of what applications does it really have for teachers and administration in the school system to benefit students. And the traits or surveys then provide numbers that do illustrate a percentage or a poll for analysis, but just what exactly does it lead to as far as like instructional planning, future changes for teachers, and better development of something for the students is what I'm curious about. Just those numbers, what is it that can be really done with it to benefit those students? I'm guessing part of it is for improving instruction, to help teachers realize areas that they need to maybe clarify through doing like a quick assessment of whether or not students maybe like a lesson or the way that it was taught. That's one of the things that I've been able to figure out. So if anybody wants to offer feedback on what you think about my thoughts for qualitative, I'm open to any suggestions. Other things, maybe identifying areas for professional development within those surveys. Maybe students are able to evaluate their instructor, and the instructor gets some kind of feedback that lets them know something that they can work on to be able to reach their students better. Maybe that's part of this qualitative research method. And even more so, it might help to identify students who still struggle, to give them a chance to have another way to have a voice within the classroom, and it doesn't have like an academic bearing on their grade. That's another idea that I think I have as an understanding for it. But again, if anybody has any comments to add to this, I'm open to any suggestions that you have regarding, the uses for qualitative. It just doesn't seem like it has the same value between qualitative and quantitative within the classroom to help students and the professional development of teachers. And those are my two muddiest points, is figuring out the balance between the two and just the overall necessity for both within instruction for teachers. I just have the kind of closing thought: what are other ways that this type of research, that is to say the qualitative research method, could be used as a helpful tool in education? So again, just post any comments, and I'll be open for discussion on anything that my fellow classmates have to say. Thank you.